Genes, something that is present in every cell of every living organism in the world. It is the one thing that combines us, yet sets us apart.
Scientists now have the ability to precisely modify these genes to give a new feature to the organism. This is being used to make life-saving medicines or improving productivity of crops.
These are called genetically modified organisms. Today, on this very special episode of Doctors on Call, we will talk about what are GMOs with an exclusive interview from someone who has taken this field forward. I'm Dr. Sameer Gupta.
And I am Dr. Sonia Lal Gupta.
Every cell of every living organism in the world is made up of genetic material called DNA. The DNA is a long chain of proteins that come together to form genes. Every gene has some function, like what is the color of your skin, or if you should have hands or legs, or both. Everything inside your body is determined by these genes. Now, using science and technology referred to as genetic engineering, modern biotechnology, or recombinant DNA technology, these genes can be very precisely modified or altered that is not possible by the normal biological process. New genes can be added, and this can lead to new features in the organism. And this is routinely being done in viruses and bacteria to create life-saving medicines and vaccinations. In fact, most of the insulin being used to treat diabetes is being made using this technology.
This technology is also being used in foods and crops to solve problems faced by the farming community. Use of large amounts of pesticides was very common in cotton farming due to insect infestation. Sometimes the pesticide didn't work well, causing huge losses to the farmers. Using science and technology, the cotton was genetically engineered to be resistant to these insects. As a result, the new breed of cotton was resistant to the insects, causing less pesticide use and an overall increase in the productivity of cotton.
For his pioneering work in split genes, our guest today was given the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1993. Sir Richard Roberts, it's an absolute honor to have you on our show. Welcome to Doctors on Call.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
You know, sir, you've talked a lot about GMO, which is gene-modified organisms, and can you just tell us in brief what exactly it is?
Well, you know, everything on Earth as a result of evolution is a genetically modified organism. These days, GMO, the term GMO, is used to describe a method of breeding plants, usually, in which genes are precisely taken from one organism and put into a plant. It is a method that is quite precise. It is anything safer than traditional methods of making hybrids, of introducing genes into plants, which is something we've been doing for 12,000 years. I don't think there is anything you eat that is not genetically modified. Well, BT cotton is the best example because it's growing widely here. And so here you've taken a gene that is a pesticide against a common pest, cotton borer beetle, I think it's called. But anyway, it's a pest that eats the cotton plants. Now, the old method of doing it was to spray the cotton plants, to put on pesticides of one sort and another. By taking this gene from a bacterium, Bacillus thuringiensis, take the small gene, put it into the plant, and now if the beetle tries to eat the plant, then it dies. And so it protects the plants. And of course, plants have been making pesticides for years. If plants didn't make pesticides, there wouldn't be any plants. BT cotton has made a huge difference here in India. You have 1/20th of the use of pesticides, and you have double the yields. I mean, you know, you can't argue with that. It's not simply a question of does it work, does it not work. It's a question of the activists have actively stopped its development. So they forced governments to put in regulations. In the case of golden rice, they were trying field trials in the Philippines, and so the anti-GMO people sent in thugs to burn the fields. And so it's been difficult to get all of the tests done that need to be done. And then Greenpeace and these green parties will tell you, well, it's taken 20 years and we don't have it. Well, what do you expect? They put roadblocks at every possible way to stop it being developed. You might ask why? Why would they do that? 1 to 2 million children dying every year. Why would they think it was a good thing that they shouldn't get relief? And the answer is because Greenpeace, this has been their best fundraising effort ever.
Genetically modified crops are currently being used in many countries around the world. But it is not without some controversy. Opponents of the technology feel that it can cause new allergies and antibiotic resistance.
Most scientists and researchers across the world state that these claims are baseless and have not been proven in any study. For now, GM products are being used across the world with no real safety issue.
We promise to bring you updates on genetically modified organisms as and when they happen. See you next week.
If you are hungry, if you go to bed hungry at night, what's the sort of medicine you need? Well, it's food. And I think we have a duty to our fellow citizens. We should make sure they get the food they need.